Alright, what is up guys? Losomaniac here, and today I want to talk about something that I'm not really an expert on, obviously, but I feel like I still kind of want to talk about it through the perspective of just the fan, I guess. Alright, and I have me some water here, so... Alright, and that is why you really don't want to be famous. Sorry, that was my alarm. I understand that, like, a lot of people nowadays really want to be famous. They want to be YouTube famous, Instagram famous, fucking TikTok famous, and all that stuff. But today I want to talk about why that is a very bad idea and why you shouldn't. Now, I'll go over... Now, again, like I said, this isn't through, like, the perspective of, like, someone who has experience, obviously. This is just through, like, someone who's a fan of some of these influencers and whatnot. Now I am going to distinguish between, like, celebrities to influencers, because celebrities to me are like actors in Hollywood and whatnot. Very well known, TMZ, very high life celebrities, people like Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson, all the way up to, like, Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. Those people are celebrities. However, influencers are people like PewDiePie, Mr. Beast, Jacksepticeye, the people that you would find mostly famous on social media. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. Why you really don't want to be an influencer, I guess. So being a celebrity is one thing. If that's something you want to do, go on ahead. But just know that those are their own problems. And the reason why, personally, I wouldn't want to be famous is due to my privacy. Personally, for me, if I wanted to be famous, or if you guys want to be famous, it's best to keep in mind about the privacy. A lot of people will think they're like, oh, I'm rich and famous, I can get all the attention. And that may be true, but that attention comes at the fact that people are going to eventually figure out where you live and eventually show up to your house and just invade your privacy. Because, like, let's say, like, you have this, like, nice house, you know, nice family and a dog, you know, you're gonna get that one crazy fan that's gonna shoot your dog just so that they can get your attention, just for the attention. That is dangerous. Well, okay, maybe not shoot your dog, because I've never met anyone that has ever done that, or at least not met, but never heard of anyone who's done that before. But yeah, something like that is not something you would really want. And I know this because a lot of people have been doxxed and whatnot, and that is not something that is very safe. Take, for example, Jelly Bean. If you guys don't know Jelly Bean, lucky you, I guess. But she's a very, she's a YouTuber shorts personality where she makes, like, she's a very much, Dream SMP fan. I don't want to say stan a whole lot because she does her own thing and whatnot. But she's very much within that realm of, like, fandom, you know? And so with that, comes the fact that, and she is, like, notoriously hated for the wrong reasons, if you ask me, but she's notoriously hated, so much so that people have not only doxed her but threatened her family. And I have heard plenty of stories about fans reaching out to influencer family members for the sole purpose of getting the contact information of that YouTuber. I remember watching, was seeing on Twitter that Jacksepticeye had tweeted asking people to stop contacting his family for the sole purpose of getting his number to contact him. When in the hell... When did this become a thing? When people are just like, oh, I love this YouTuber so much that I want their phone number. I remember, like, as a kid, in, like, like, elementary school to, like, middle school, around the Shake It Up time, I was a really big fan of Zendaya. Yes, I was a bit weird with it, but I only took it as far as to like have her face as a wallpaper. Now I don't do that anymore. I have me as a wallpaper and whatnot. But that's what I used to do because who the fuck cares, right? But well, me now, but back then, who cares? So the thing with that is that that's as far as I ever took it. Was, oh, here's a nice photo of Zendaya. Let me add it to my wallpaper. But like, I don't know if this is still a thing that you can do on Google. But if you were to Google like celebrity phone number, I'm pretty sure you can easily find their phone number. I I was even looking up Zendaya, and one of the recommended things that wasn't mine clearly was phone number. So it is possible people have been trying to, like, more than like a shit ton of people back then was trying to find Zendaya's number for whatever goddamn reason. Um, and then there's that. But yeah, plus I have actually heard of like all these different influencers telling people to stop coming to their fucking house. I mean, this is a very common issue that a lot of people don't take into consideration when they want to get famous. Like, yeah, being like YouTube famous or Twitch famous or TikTok famous could get you a lot of money and notoriety. So maybe you can get that attention that you want. I mean, what's not to like about that? You get constant fame and money, but you know what you also get? Swattings and fucking doxes. So you got to keep that in mind. And yes, I do know that about swatting. I don't do that. Well, I don't know why I made it seem like I didn't know about swatting, but let's go with that. But that's the thing, is like a lot of people may think like, oh, I get money, I get the attention, I get popularity. Yeah, and you can also run the risk of getting shot just because people don't like you or they think it's funny. And I'm not laughing because of these people getting swatted. I'm laughing just because I'm fucked in the head. But there's that. So you really gotta take into consideration what's worth more, privacy or not. Because the second you become famous, your private life is now gone. And that kind of also leads into like that, and that kind is also very similar to like the family vlogs type thing, because a lot of these family vlogs are just like, oh, I have a family, let's vlog for everybody to see. And while that may be true and kind of fun, a lot of these parents don't respect boundaries and they only care about their financial gain as opposed to their kids' safety. Such as like some of these creators, I can't remember the family name, but they had a kid who was like severely autistic, and anytime the kid did something wrong or did fucking something, they would record it, everything. And even if the kid was uncomfortable with the whole thing, like, they do not care. They did not care at all. That kid was just miserable. So they eventually got rid of him because I guess they were just done with him. They've done everything with him with some shit. And yeah, so that's neat, I guess. Yeah, I've been wanting to make this video for a while just because, like, it's because I've heard stories of people being like, oh, I once dated this girl who was desperate for Instagram fame or whatever, and it became like, you hear of these stories of people who really want to be famous, and it is so uncomfortable. They would do fucking anything to be famous, and I sit here like, why? I mean, granted, whenever I first started making this channel, back when it was just a completely different name entirely, I wanted to be famous. You know, I wanted that Jacksepticeye level of fame. But then now I'm like, I like my privacy more. I want that middleman where I get my privacy respected, but also that I can be somewhat famous to where, like, I can get to like a group of people but still have that privacy. Now, is that impossible? Absolutely. Um, is it doable? I mean, getting to that level of fame where you can have your privacy but also have like a very impressive following is doable in theory, and maybe for a brief moment, but then the second someone is like, where does he live, or how to get away with murder or some shit, whatever, then it becomes a bit too much. And that is something that I don't think a lot of people consider, that I think they do, is just because you're famous doesn't mean that it's all the lap of luxury. Because eventually, like, just because you have all these high numbers also doesn't necessarily mean that everybody likes you. Like, going back to Jelly Bean, like, she has all these numbers, but she's not particularly liked. Or is she, or do people just not care about her anymore? It's just like, whatever. I'm not really sure. But, yeah, that is something to really take into consideration, is do you really want to be famous? Because otherwise, like I said, yeah, there's positives, but there's also some very big negatives, and sometimes very dangerous negatives. And it's just one of those that if it were up to me and it was like you get to be famous, or not, I'd rather not be famous. I'd rather be myself. Plus, like, eventually you're gonna get to that level of fame where like you do absolutely nothing wrong, but then when it comes to like you having your own personal life, like I have YouTube, like this is my thing, all right. But then outside of making this video, I have my own personal life. You can try and have your own personal life when you're famous, but you better believe that if you have a job, people who don't like you are going to get you fired because they're going to call up your boss and say you said some racist shit 10 years ago when you said fucking nothing at all because you weren't here 10 years, because you weren't on YouTube 10 years ago, and then you're going to get fired because people think they're fucking hilarious. And I don't really see the appeal of being famous anyways. I mean, to me, it just seems like a constant notification attack, because you tweet something like, hi, next you know, you're going to get 15,000 retweets, 15,000 likes, and like 10,000 comments saying either hi, ratio, or some other bullshit. That's all it's basically a notification attack through the roof. You're not going to, and like, it doesn't really sound as fun as you think it is. That's why, like, if I want to be famous, I'd rather pick being, like, musician famous, because, at least when it comes to musician famous, I know what to get into, and personally, it doesn't feel as dangerous as risking being swatted. So, yeah, there's that. But, like I said before, would I want to be famous, period? No. Not really, but there's something. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is all I have. Let me know in the comment section down below. How do you feel about all these people who really want to be famous? And do you think having that level of fame is worth it? Or would be worth it? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Also, if you do like this video, make sure to leave a like. And if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you do subscribe, hit that bell notification to be notified when I upload, because I don't have a schedule. And with that being said, Loser Maniac out.